Here we are outside the courts of just ice. If you wish to know the truth about what all this truly represents, where you have been deceived into believing that this is all put into place for your protection, for the good of all of mankind, well, it's all actually fraud, all based on lies and clever tricks. Now, I'm going to explain this in the only way that I can, from the voice of creation verbatim. Does insanity work for you? Can you go along to get along, not only being part of this system, but giving all the energy required to keep it going? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself if you want proof that it's illegal to use a legal name. Because it ain't yours. It never was. It's a Crown copyrighted name. The owners of the Crown Corporation, whatever that is, whatever you want to call it, Dark Principalities works pretty well. It's the original attempt to deceive everyone's parents into this fraudulent contract via non-disclosure. Now, a fraud revealed is null and void, nunc pro tunc, now for then. So it removes all the garbage that's smeared onto your soul by walking through this in ignorance. And it's the ignorance that you need to get over. This has nothing to do with freemen on the land, sovereignty movements, or any movement or group. That's all to do with gimme-gimmes, bills, injunctions, court fines, or whatever anyone wants to get out of. Or some trust fund or other that they want to get their hands on. This is all so simple. Now, looking at how the courts work, how many innocent people get thrown into jail, or innocent parents have their children taken away from them, well, to me, that is simply dishonorable. But how can you possibly be even more dishonorable than they are? And that's easy. You're using something that doesn't belong to you. It's a dead legal fiction. And this is a fact. This legal name is Crown property. And what most people don't understand is that all bar members have to cross the Temple Bar in the City of London state, which is actually a country all of its own. So this is all bar members now across the globe. And while you use a legal name, you are actually a citizen of the country of London, but you don't have a bar card. So you don't have right of use of Crown copyright material. And this is what bar card holders get, rights of use of copyright, which includes all legal names. That's why they want everyone in a courtroom to be silenced, because bar card holders are the only ones they want to speak in a courtroom. They don't want people like me, especially, a living being with no legal name, because they know if I speak, it's a real living being's voice. I've heard people telling the lie that if you don't use a legal name, if you live as a true live being like me, then you will be arrested, you will be thrown into prison, and you will have to stand in there before a judge. Well, I live my life every single day. I eat, drink, sleep, walk and talk in truth with no legal name. I live in a situation that others would consider by the standards of the fraudulent, illegal legal system as cause to be arrested. But I've come into contact with police several times, face to face, and they do not even want to speak to me. Never mind touch me. They can't. This is not about being cocky and having that, nah, you can't touch me, I can do whatever I like attitude. Because they can't touch me because I do not ever break the law. The one true law, do no harm. So I would never harm anyone. I know who I am and I know the difference between right and wrong. Therefore, I do not have to comply with the fake legalities. That's how you live in honor. And this is how they get all of you with legal names acting in complete dishonor. Now, there are many levels to this fraud, but you won't even get past the first level with regards to any and all legal names. So please explain how someone using someone else's crown copyrighted property and material is not committing fraud. Try using anyone's copyrighted material for profit and see what happens, right? So given that legal names are crown copyrighted and no one has express permission except those with bar cards to use the name, how then can you use it without committing fraud, false impersonation, etc.? Take your time and look it up, because it's easy to find proof that legal names are copyrighted, protected under copyright laws, and subject to copyright infringement. I mean, just try this. Go to the offices of birth records and ask for your original birth record, and they won't give it to you because it is not yours. You only have a copy of the original, the certificate. But you can just see the common sense truth of this fact. Just try and bullshit your way out of this, and you can't. Theft is theft. And this makes everyone with crown copyrighted, registered names slaves to the system. Anyone who is still lying, still trying to seek or to help someone else seek legal remedy, is just aiding and abetting a fellow human being into bearing false witness. And this is exactly what everyone is doing every day, bearing false witness against one another, worshipping a graven image. And you can use any religious text you want because it's not literal. It's all allegory. And beyond the allegorical, you get to the highest mystical understanding of truth, the anagogic. It's only really one story. The last place anyone should ever go is in there, into a courtroom. You see, you are the power of your own words. And if you don't have a grip on this, it's like dropping a grenade. It's going to go off in your face. If you have no idea what you're even saying, and you don't, because they can and will change your words to suit their own meanings. Oh sure, they give you the illusion that you can win by letting people win sometimes. Very much the way some people win prizes at the fair. Only just enough so they can be sure to still earn a profit. Do you really want to be courted by the Rome-antics? Because these are Roman law courts and it's all based on Phoenician. If you consent to be a legal name, then you are committing fraud. And when you step into a courtroom, you are acting in complete dishonor. Let me give you just one little example of how they can interpret the meaning of your words as they wish. You can easily figure this game out just by looking at the language. Let's say that you say, I do not consent, for example. If they so wish, and you need to realize that this is exactly what they do all the time, they can twist that to mean I do as in D-U-E, means that you are ready, not K-N-O-T, to be tied up in knots. You're ready then to be tied up in knots. Con can mean with or without, or a trick. Sent. So the key is there for those who want it, but once you have this click moment, when you find out that everything is owned by another because you gave it up, you see that everything is actually owned by the crown. That includes all countries, by the way. They are registered through the UN. Who do you think does all the registrations? The crown. Everything on this planet is registered. So if you think that you cannot stand in truth and live with no legal name because you believe you can somehow protect something that you think you own, like your house or your kids, you don't own anything or anyone as long as you're using a legal name. And this is a very, very tough pill to swallow. But once you know this, and your heart does know, miracles do happen, because the universe, the all-benevolent truth of the universe, creation of all, won't side with a liar. Would you? What people are finding especially difficult about this is that everyone has got used to a "I want it now," fast food, drive-through attitude. Most people don't want to hear this because they just want quick answers to their own little problems. How do I get out of something? And people are so caught up in the program matrix, physical reality, so they completely miss the spiritual side of this. You see, everyone wants a magical solution to their own little problems, and yet no one actually believes in magic. No one can see that magic is actually real. You don't need pieces of paper, diplomas, insurance, licenses. People are so stuck in a what-if mentality. They have no trust in themselves, in each other, in creation. Where all things have already been created, they think that they can somehow outdo creation. If you truly want to change anything in your life, the first step is to breathe. Take time to let the truth seep in. If it's in your heart, the universe will give you the answers you need, but you have to listen to hear these answers. So that's it. Stay out of that building. It's all just acts to chop you up and statutes to turn you into stone. Frozen solid. Not justice, but just ice.